Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff podcast. I am joined by Craig Five, Zach, James, Ted, aka Steady, and a very special guest, Bob Wills, the CEO and content chief creator for SPACECON. Thank you so much for joining us, Bob. We have a lot to talk about. And before we get started, though, we do want to thank all of our awesome supporters out there, starting with Liam McCallion, Kevin Leininger, Deb McCaffrey, Zach Netzel, Matt Morris, Adam Haber, Front Row King, Cam from Indiana, Mariana Tia Arnold, Rest Jedi 27, Alex Blundell, Indiana Solo, and BC Doomit. Thank you so much for your awesome love and support. And without further ado, we're going to give Bob the floor. I know he wants to say a few things here. And thanks for joining us, Bob.
Well, I'm excited, guys. Thanks for inviting me.
We're excited to have you on.
There's Autumn Hernandez. She emails me all the time. Anyways, so, this is actually year 3 of SPACECON. First 2 years were done in 24 and 25 in October, and now we're moving to June 12th, 13th, and 14th because there's a bigger audience and more people can come in the summer, during vacations versus working in the fall. And quite frankly, I'm amazed how unbelievably successful we've been, but it's tough going up against football on Saturday and Sunday. We were blessed that both UTSA and San Antonio and Texas, I think they had a bye the week of our show, but that's just luck. But coming around to the summer, it also helps us, by then a lot of people are finishing up filming and, for the summer, getting ready, going into 4th of July. And so that makes it easier to potentially get some folks. So those of you that are following us already, you know that we have Hayden Christensen coming back. We have Ian McDermott coming back. And Ian had technically retired from U.S. stuff, but I made him an offer he couldn't refuse because I wanted to bring him back and get some other folks into the show. And people can probably figure it out because there are things that Ian hasn't done, and even Ian and Hayden had hardly ever been together. So we're pretty excited about having Ian. Now, the first person we announced was Alan Richson, and then those of you who watched Reacher this past season, his nemesis was this 7'6" guy known in the real world as the Dutch Giant, but Olivier Richters. And so we're bringing him in from the Netherlands, but it's going to be funny when people get a photo op because us guys, we're going to be standing here and this guy's going to be like up here. I'm not sure he won't be a top the head of the booth there, but we're really excited about him. And then as we started working on Marvel folks, I've been trying to get her for several years, but we got Emily Van Camp. We're very excited about her. She has some incredible roles in Captain America and the Winter Soldier and movies after that. She's the daughter of who we had at our show several years ago in the Marvel world. And then we have Famke Janssen, who is, very famous in the X-Men movies as Jean Grey. Everybody's asking about James Marsden. And I tried, but he's filming. So we can't get him. And I will even go so far as to tell everybody, and I don't know how much you've read, but I made an insanely obscene offer just to come in and do a gigantic panel with all the Star Trek people. I tried to get Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, but you all saw the announcement they made, I don't know, about 2 months ago that he was giving up acting. He's not in good health, and he has some I guess some situations there that it's harder and harder for him to do what he has to do. we'll see how, he did make it through the recording for Avengers Doomsday, but I respect him in all that regard. Now, on Saturday and Sunday, we are going to have a large, and we've already announced a large contingency. We've got the king of Star Trek, William Shatner, Jonathan Frakes, who we've lost several times before, but he signed up. He's going to come. Kate Mulgrew, Jerry Ryan, who is very, very popular. And 3 years ago, I had Peter Weller at Superhero Comic-Con and on a special promotion. And boy, I tell you, the lines for him, he's not only, did he play an admiral in Star Trek, but he was also RoboCop. So we're bringing him over from England, so we're pretty excited about him. We got Bruce Greenwood, who played the role of Admiral, and he had a big role of getting Chris Pine, aka Captain Kirk, to join Starfleet and get him to be a captain. So we're excited about having him. And of all those people I just announced I call them the admirals and captains, because we're gonna do a panel called Admirals and Captains and have them all on the stage at the same time. So we're pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
But we do have the good Dr. Gates McFadden. We have the infamous Q, John Delancey. We are going to have Robert Picardo. So if any of you are watching the new Starfleet Academy, they brought him back. He's the computer doctor. So he is there. And there'll be more Star Trek guests to come. Now I'm going to segue in and talk about Fan Appreciation Friday. So last year, something, and those of you who watched us, you saw we had, sadly, we had a lot of cancellations. There were things that happened that were just crazy insane. So I said, wait, we got to do something for the fans here. So we had Giancarlo Esposito. I told you, he and I are very close friends now. And I've turned him from being not only an actor into being an agent who's recruiting for me for this big guest I want to get. But he called last year. And he said, hey, I'm just Saturday and Sunday. I'm not doing anything Friday. How about I just go over Friday? And I said, I'll tell you what. We're going to do something. I'll bring you over, but you got to do something that you aren't going to like when I first suggested. And I said, You're gonna do all your autographs and photo ops. I don't care what they sign. If they sign a movie poster, anyway, you're gonna do them for $35 instead of $80. And he said, "I'm in." And he sold out just like that.
Wow!
It was very popular. And then we lost somebody else going into 7 to 10 timeline. I don't remember, but 7 to 10 days before the show. We lost someone else, and Daniel Logan, Boba Fett, who he's kind of a fan favorite. So he called. I offered him the same deal, $35. He took it, did phenomenally well, and we went from there. And then, of course, we got to being Monday before the show. We lost a big name, and I called my agent friend with CAA, and I says, who do you got? Who wants the money? I need some big name. I need them to they got to come in. And instantly we end up with Jeremy Renner on the phone, and he's wrapping up the filming in New York. And I said, what's he doing? Where was he going? He says, he's going back home up to Reno. And that's the place where the infamous snowplow accident happened at his home up there. So I said, okay, here's the deal, guys. I'll pick him up in New York in a private jet. He'll fly here, and then I'll fly him home. Boom. In the fastest big name guest in history, done in one afternoon. We announced him the next day, and we didn't even have a contract. I just sent them off a couple $100,000, and that sealed the deal. And I sent the money to him without having a contract, and he did great. In a way, I was a fanboy because I wanted to see him. I wanted to see how he has turned out in all this. You know, you talk about what he breaks something like 70 bones in his body and all those ones in his face and everything. And you know, if any of you, I don't know if any of you saw him at the show, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell at all. He looked fantastic. And you know what? He kind of, you know, we had him back in 2019, right after Avengers Endgame came out. And, you know, he was very good with the fans. I wasn't happy with him in the green room and everything because he was kind of an annoying, well, where's this? Where's that? Why can't I get this? Anyways. And we did all that. Anyways. But he came and he was fantastic. He was, yeah, I see somebody said he was amazing at the panel, but I'm a big fan of his. And I mean, God bless his recovery. So anyways, our Fan Appreciation Friday, you know, we got Daniel Logan back. We got Brandon Routh, Superman. We got Tom Welling from Smallville, Superman. We got a Supergirl, Laura Vanderort. We got Erica Durance. We got Helen Slater. We have the Sharknado, Tara Reid, who is coming in. People are excited about him. We've got 4 members from the cast of Andromeda that are all going to be there. Now I will tell you. Let me make sure I'm reading something here correctly. I thought it was a text. Maybe it was an email, but the contract has come in. I am happy to announce because he's my agent and he's my actor now, but Giancarlo is going to come back and he is going to do the $35 autographs on Friday again. So he will be coming back. What I'm leading up to this, I'm waiting on the contract, but I know we're all in good shape. But the new season of Ahsoka that's coming out, Shinhate, known as Ivana Sakmo, we are bringing Ivana back.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So Ivana is coming back.
She's fantastic, by the way. I met her several times, took pictures with her autographs. She's awesome.
You know she's Ukrainian.
Yes.
Yes. So she's great in that respect. So
our
anyway,
Patreon, I was gonna say, Bob, our Patreon member Adam, he learned Ukrainian to talk to her.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So anyways, talking about this next guest, you know, I may have hyped it a little bit too much where of course, everybody always Robert Downey Jr., Samuel L. Jackson, some people that never do cons. And so I started working on this person. And despite how much work he has done in the Star Wars universe, nobody ever guessed him. And I'm amazed.
Nobody.
And yet in the last series he was in, you know, he was in Rogue One, and in the last series he was in, which was the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and there he was raising young Leia. I am happy to say we are going to have Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa.
Woo!
That's awesome.
He has never done a con, never done a show, and I am telling you, I have had to fight for 3 years because I thought he would be a good guest and be well received by fans. So he is going to be at the show on, as you see on the screen, the 13th and 14th.
That's awesome.
Super cool.
Anyways, so I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to read this a second to make sure I am okay.
It's crazy. Nobody guessed this.
Nobody. And I mean thousands of guesses. How is it? because boy, all the fans out there, you guys, you know more about this than I do, but I just thought he would make a great guest, and he had a big role in that movie. Yes, Michael Talento, we'll take your money. Yes.
Yeah, him and Dexter was really great.
I agree, Brady. Fantastic on Dexter.
Yes. So
this is a shock. I think this is a real shock for a lot of people.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you, there's. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow when I get this, but I really got this afternoon. I've been told I was getting somebody since November, and they keep pushing back. He hasn't been able to sign the contract. He's not been around. He lives on the other side of the world. Blah, blah. Anyways, and so at 6:38, I spoke to him, and he said he will sign his contract tomorrow. I told him you needed to start marketing. The good thing, he has wrapped filming in Hawaii, and he's been able to sign and send me back contracts now. So I'll get this supposedly tomorrow. And so this is a big guy. Everybody's going to love him. He hasn't done shows in about 5 years, and he's been very, very, very limited. Did one this past year. So we're excited to get him.
Awesome.
And if this person, I'm not saying, but I didn't say it, but 3 or 4 of his peers on another Amazon Prime series could be there appearing with him on Friday, waiting to see if they accept the offer to do the $35 Fan Appreciation Friday. So kind of wrapping some things. I got some final notes right here, and then we'll take questions, anything. So, of course, one of the craziest people I announced that I've gotten a lot of, what the F are you doing? Which was bringing in Larry Thomas, the soup Nazi from.
I want to meet him.
Well, you know how you get to meet him. You buy his deal for $70. You get the photo, you get the autograph, and we're going to have some swanky soup for you to eat.
Soup for me.
Soup? No soup for you if you get better. No.
I want to meet him. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan.
And by the way, he's going to wear the soup Nazi outfit, and he'll be all there. So that's going to be really, really exciting. So heads up on that. So kind of recapping our Star Wars to date people. We got Hayden, we got Ian, we got Jimmy Smiths, we got Ivana, we got Daniel Logan, we got Giancarlo. I've got 4 other headliners and folks from different series we're trying to get. So, if I had to guess to it, are we going to end up with somewhere 8, 10, 12 Star Wars people? Very, very likely. When I told you a few minutes ago that I was working on stuff. So I'm going to tell you these other big ones that we have offers out there. And they're all 3 of them are $1 million deal. And it's really exciting because I was told one of them last week from the agent that he likes our deal. He just wants to get a little bit closer to the show and make sure something is going. He hates to cancel. He never wants to cancel. And I respect that. And I actually met him like 3 years ago at MegaCon. I was in his signing booth with him, and I wasn't talking to him. I just stood in the bath. I just watched him. And he just turned around and looked at, hey, man, how you doing? And he told me to come over, shake his hand. I was really excited about that. And so that was cool. So I've been trying to get him. So we've got that pending. And then, of course, we have, 2 big guests. One is a, GOTG, person, and another one's an Avenger. So
wow,
we're gonna keep going from there. I would like to. I know we got a lot of fans on there right now. If
We're hanging on every word, Bob.
you got strong hands. Susan. Of course, we got a better guest list than Houston. We've had a better guest list for 5 years. As I said, 8 to 12, Dark Emperor Snake. So anyways, that. Lastly, I will, there's some people say, hey, if it was in the fall, I could go, but I can't in the summer. But, anybody wants an autograph, Twin City Comics will be our official send-in partner. They'll have it, but we're also going to be working with Official Picks. They'll be doing some stuff as well. So anyways, questions, comments, shut up, Bob.
First of all, I think people are going to be thrilled to meet Jimmy. That's awesome. I mean, he's in Revenge of the Sith. He has such a great scene in that movie, especially, when he goes to the Jedi Temple. That's awesome.
Well, good. Oh, somebody just asked about Tim Allen. Okay, so I have an offer out there, and I'll tell you, this is an odd one, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you have an epiphany and say, why didn't I think of that? So those of you know Robert Horry, famous NBA player, played for the Lakers, played for the Spurs, played for the Houston Rockets. He's got 7 rings, more than Michael Jordan. And his wife used to work for Tim Allen.
Wow.
So I got a hold of the two of them. And I said, look, I'm going to make you agents. I'm giving you a reward. I made a big 6-digit offer for Tim Allen because I got people that want to have the Galaxy Quest reunion, getting people in to do that. And so
that would be huge.
There is an offer out there for Tim Allen. So we're gonna see about that. That would be nice if that happens. I'm getting compression that I've got. Well, thank you, Philip. Making sure I don't have space constraints at the show because we're going to, those of you who are at the show this year, we used Expo 2 for registration. We had the VIP lounge back there that we had. And of course, this year, for all of you, we've got about 65% of the Star VIP passes are sold. And with that, you get to use the lounge. And then for 5 hours a day, we're serving free pizza in there all day from Pizza Hut. So
Awesome.
We're stepping that up again, making it more exciting. But
It's great. No other convention does anything like this. What you're doing is so above and beyond. Even coming on here with us to share this with the fans live, they love to see this.
Well, yes, I know. There's a question here from Skyluke 33. When will the Jimmy, Hayden, and Ian photo release? That's going to be real soon. Don't worry. Jimmy Smits and Ivana and Giancarlo will go on sale this Friday. We announced them. We announced them here on Star Wars Stuff Podcast, but we will announce it on our social media tomorrow, and then they will go on sale Friday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Awesome.
I have
That's
a question
very
for
cool.
you. What would you say to the people out there everybody would love to see Natalie Portman, Liam Neeson, Samuel L. Jackson, Frank Oz. What would you say to the fans about that? Because I think you're doing everything in your power to get people that might do that, but they don't understand that a lot of those actors just don't have interest.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like everybody asks for Ryan Reynolds, and they don't understand. Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire with a B. When you see him doing those commercials for Mint Mobile, he got his share of selling it was like 1.4 billion.
Yeah.
And then he had a vodka company that he sold, and he got $600 million for that.
Wow.
And that's all capital gains. So it's not like he lost a fortune. He had to pay 20% of it. So $2 million. That still leaves you with about $1.6 billion. I mean, the guy is wealthy beyond wealthy. You know, he may be the wealthiest person. He probably is who's worth more than $1.5 billion?
Not just actors in general.
Who's that?
I said besides George Lucas.
Oh, well, yeah. But actors.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
no, Jamie Gertz, I think, tops the charts with like 4 or 6 billion or something. I think she married into it, but
Oh, yeah.
Jack Nicholson's still getting residuals from Batman, and nobody knows how much those checks are. Just saying.
Yeah. He's not in the top 10. Yes, Ivan, we will have comic creators there. My wife is, and Stephen, who get all our vendors, they are handling that. So we are working on that.
So how many Star Wars guests are announced so far? 5?
No, there are
it's Ian Hayden,
5, 6,
Jimmy, Giancarlo, Ivana, Daniel Logan. 6.
6.
So you're looking at potentially 2 to
Double.
6 more?
Yeah.
Hey, Manuel Fuentes just burst in with something that I hadn't said anything. You guys see it on the screen. He's asking John Cena update. Okay? We're supposed to get, if you just saw last week, I think it was last week, MegaCon announced that John Cena was coming there for a day. They had to get their announcement out of the way, and I'm waiting to see if he has our offer. He likes it. You know, a lot of these people just sit on an offer to make sure nothing's going to come up because the people with class and who are cool, they don't want to cancel because they know it kind of soils reputation. So we got a good chance of having John Cena. I'll say that.
Awesome.
Sweet.
That's big.
Old Avenger.
Ooh.
Anyways,
Oh, that's a good one. Stellan Skarsgård.
yeah. I keep going, and Liam, I keep going after these guys. They're all based, internationally, and they're hard. Like Boba Fett.
Tamura Morrison.
Yeah, I'm working with his son. They live down in New Zealand, and we're trying to get him. He's one of the people that we're dealing with, but they were and surprisingly, if you notice, he hasn't been announced at any shows right now, and I understand that his visa is expired, and you got the government is. I remember. 3 years ago, and I'm having a name blank right now.
Wasn't Andy, was it?
No, not Andy. It's a woman. The medieval show,
Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke. Thank you. That's a problem. 73 and not feeling good. Emilia Clarke. They found out that her visa had expired, and it cost us $10,000 to hire a visa attorney in London to get it pushed through. But we got it pushed through, and she came to the show, and she was phenomenal. She was like an instant sellout. We'd had Kit Harington for 2 months, and he was going okay, but we were going to end up losing money on him. But as soon as we announced her, and then that's the biggest tandem group photo we ever did. We did just shy of 900 group photos.
Wow.
The two of them.
People are asking about Emilia still. They were just asking about it.
I know they are. Yep. All right. What are the questions?
Any thoughts about an original like Anthony Daniels or Billy D. Williams?
Okay, Anthony Daniels, you're not going to see him in the country this year, as I was told by his agent. Maybe only once, but he's having to go through and getting reinstated with, there's a lot of machinations going on between the U.S. government in the UK about visas and things like this. So yeah, he may be a little bit landlocked over there, but yes, Anthony Daniels is on my list.
How about Billy D?
Again?
Yeah, Lando. We love him.
I know. He's the most expensive guest we ever had in terms
Really?
of price. He didn't cost much to get, but it was $350 to get an autograph or a photo op. And,
Sure.
But anyways,
Bob, what about the alien that lives in San Antonio with us?
which alien are you referring to?
The alien that is about listed at 7'4" tall.
Oh, that one. Boy, my mind didn't even go there. Yeah. Did I tell the story about him coming to the show last year?
We know some of it. We know some of the story.
Yeah, we glossed over it.
So that was in October of 24.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a call from the Spurs, and I said, "Hey, we got a player that'd like to come out the show and would like to meet Ewan and Hayden." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Who is it?" And they said, "Well, let's just verify that it's going to happen." So, anyways, I get a call about 2 days before the show was opening, and I said, "It's Victor, right? He wants to come." And I said, "Okay." So he ended up meeting Rosario, Hayden, and Ewan because they were all over in Expo 2. That's where we had the booths over there. And, we had to do they had a security team. He travels in this like giant mini bus. I mean, it's not a big full size thing, but just even around town, his wife, kids, agent, security team, they all traveled together. And I said, so he comes in and I talked to the manager and I said, let's do something fun. And let's about 200 feet, we're going to go out this door and we'll go in the side door to come up on the stage where we were doing the panels. And do you know the guy, Theory, who does the lightsabers?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
the custom lightsabers, the premium. Anyways, he was going to award him a lightsaber. Anyways, and the manager, who was a biatch, jumps in. No, sorry, we can't do any of that for you. I said, excuse me? You can't do anything for me? I just shut down Hayden, Ewan, and Rosario, and it's probably cost me $40,000 to have them stop signing and taking photos. And she said, sorry, no. I said, you know what? I hope our paths never cross again because, if you were dying of thirst, I told this to her. I said, I wouldn't pee on you. and I stormed out. And this other guy comes running down the hallway. Says, "Oh, we don't want you to be like this." So, anyways,
oh man.
So they ended up getting Victor to come over, but he didn't go up on stage. And they were backstage with our two.
It was Sean Gunn and
Sean Gunn and Michael Rooker. And because it started in the green room, and Sean Gunn came up to me and he says, "Bob, if I could meet any person in the world, past, present, or future, alive or dead, I want to be Victor Wembanyama." And I said, well, I got a deal for you.
Oh, my God.
So anyways, Victor came out from over there, and he just came in the side door, and he was behind the stage. Theory with his lightsaber, he presents it to him. And the funny thing is I have a picture. It wouldn't show on the screen here, but, here's Victor way the hell up here, and here's Sean Gunn. And it's like Sean Gunn, he's just staring at him in love. Like, oh my God. And it was really a great moment. It was a great moment.
That's
and
funny.
he came up to me after and says, "Hey, anytime you ever want anything from me, you got it." So I'm remembering that because there may be a time I need to get him to talk to the other Gunn, James Gunn, to get some help on something.
Nice. Save that one in your back pocket.
Yes, for the rainy day when you need something. Yes, Michael, we're talking about him. He might be a Fan Appreciation Friday guy.
I got a couple names to throw by you.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Some Star Wars names. Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, Pedro Pascal.
Okay. Pedro ain't never going to do one. He's said it. Daisy has said she wouldn't, but eventually she will. Hey, Nick Ramirez, I did have an offer, but she's filming. I tried very hard to get her. Catherine Hahn. Who is this? Pedro
Adam
Pascal.
Driver?
Adam Driver. He won't do one. I made a $500,000 offer for him. And so, anyways.
Well,
hey, Jamie, how are you? Jamie Alviar. This guy here, Jamie Alviar, you know who he is?
I am friends with him.
Okay. He has probably taken more pictures with celebrities than any person in the world.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
He goes to every show and gets every picture he can, and he always does the nicest, sweetest, glorifying posts. So, anyways. Next question.
Rosario.
What's that?
Rosario.
It's a possibility. She has a deadline. She has a deadline. It's very possible. And I will tell you, I am Alan Tudyk is probably 2027. Anyways, there's a chance that Ewan McGregor is filming, and we'd like to get the gang back together. But he is filming. If they're ahead of schedule, I told him I'd take him and his wife.
Oh, there we go.
So there are so many things pending. I don't know. I may need a loan for you guys from you guys.
You got
Ewan is terrific. I've met him several times. His panels are awesome. He seems so comfortable on stage too, and that's just everything to us. I think just having him back and talking about very candid things. It's just insane how great a guest he is.
So there's a question on your screen about the Andor cast. Well, the star, we had him in 2023. And we lost our ass on him. Over $200,000.
Wow.
And they want to be paid the same amount of money they were back then. And I said, no way, Jose. I said, can't do that. Photo dude, we don't know if they'll reschedule. Time will tell.
Bob, do we have any shot of potential voice talents like guests from the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels series?
I will tell you this. Those shows. So from give me a second. The nuclear show.
Chernobyl?
No.
Fallout.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Walton Goggins.
Yeah, we the girl, we have an offer out on her, and if I can get Walton, I would bring the two of them. That's
very cool.
That's a possibility.
That would be great.
Yes. People are asking about. They're asking about a lot of people. It's hard to remember all the requests.
I bet.
At the end of the day, you can only, over the 3 days, we can only handle about 50 guests and how we break them down. So, there's going to be 38 people there on Friday. If I take the headliners, because Ewan is a headliner. Hayden is a headliner. He's there on Friday. Alan Richardson is a headliner. He's there on Friday. Who else we got? Anyway, a lot of people. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Make sure you ask the gal at the customer service desk to ask for me. I'll come over and say hello to you since you're coming all the way from Belgium.
That's awesome.
The name Sigourney Weaver keeps showing up in the
I
chat.
know. But
You're like, I'm ignoring that.
I'm not ignoring. I mean, Sigourney Weaver becomes activated if we can get Tim Allen. Because the Galaxy Quest, getting the 2 stars from Galaxy Quest.
Although she is going to be in Mandalorian and Grogu.
I understand. But there's some of these people. Thank you, Jamie. Some of these people are, there's a lot of filming, and they're jumping from. It's not just they're filming; they're running around doing all the promotion. I've been trying to see if I could have a special panel in June, and for the Spider-Man movie that's coming out in July.
Whoa.
That would be epic.
But it's so we'll see.
We should be getting a trailer for the Super Bowl for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah.
What about a possible like Avatar panel, actors from James Cameron's Avatar?
It's an interesting percent. Now, of course, if I get a Guardians of the Galaxy person, then a Zoe Saldana makes a lot of sense. But, my experience has been when you take major people like Sigourney or Zoe Saldana, they cost so much money, you're going to lose several $100,000 on them because people want to see them as they think they're going to see the person to show up in a costume. They're going to look like they did in the movie. Yeah. Yes, we will have some DC guests. Somebody's asking. Well, thank you, Ale, for volunteering. All right, what other questions we got? I can't believe Steady hasn't asked a question.
I can't get past it. You just mentioned working on a Spider-Man special panel. That's like, what is Bob cooking right now? I'm just trying to figure a little bit out of what Bob's working on.
Well, there's several things I learned from this past show. Did y'all go over and see the
Fantastic Four booth?
The Fantastic Four booth.
I think it was a big hit.
We worked with Disney on that, and we got them so much coverage and things, and they said they want to come back and do something. They've got several things.
Awesome.
That they're several big movies next summer, and
that's fantastic.
My stupid head brain said, okay, what they're going to be on depending on what country they're in. They'd have to be in the States at the time of our show. And then I got to probably send a big Gulfstream 30-person jet, pick up the whole crew from Spider-Man, fly them here, fly in and out, in the same day. So same afternoon,
Yeah.
Those tours are just phenomenally well planned. So, but I got to get my core guests lined up, and
1,000%. Yeah.
I don't know. Has Houston even announced any guests yet?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're in May. We're in June, and we've got 30 people announced already.
Yeah, you started immediately after SPACECON 2025 ended.
Yes, I did. That was and the whole thing with Alan Richson. So I'm flying Alan in, him and his whole family, and got them set up on a VIP Riverwalk stay, Riverwalk tour. So he's pretty cool. So I'm excited about him.
Any chance? I know this is a highly unlikely one. I'm just going to throw it out there. Mark Hamill.
Listen, Mark's only doing. I know this. I know Mark's only doing one show this year, and then he's doing a show next year. You know, obviously it'll be a Star Wars Celebration. So, and he was in the one show this year. It's probably a fan expo show somewhere. I don't know if it could be a Chicago or a Boston. I mean, but he's just doing one show. I would, but he's the reigning most expensive person because Robert Downey Jr. hasn't done a show.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when he did the San Francisco show, his gate on what he walked out the door was like $2.5 million.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they want a guarantee of like half of that before he even will consider. But that's the plan, Stephen. No, Philip. Yeah, you would look like an eraser at the end of a pencil there.
That one time you did a 4-day event, that was rough. It was
the vendors hate it.
Yeah.
You lose half the vendors. And it's they because they don't do as well.
Really?
Yeah, they don't. Ale, I sold nearly all my cars. The story is on that when I started selling them last year. I always was going to do this and had a lot of things set up for it. And it was called the Hollywood Car Show and Pop Culture Museum. And that was going to get set up and I was going to do that. And then I had another brainchild, which we are working on, which will be in a business that will be open 365 days a year. And so I'm pretty excited about it. We're looking forward to, my wife and I were out touring, looking at a building. So it'll be kind of like a Dave & Buster's, kind of like other things.
Very cool. Would love to hear about that when you have more info to share.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's coming around the mountain. I just bought another $400,000 worth of games. By the way, the free play arcade will be even bigger this year.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you got over there and saw a lot of the big new games we brought in. We bought some more of those. We bought more. We had 2 Top Gun Maverick, flight decks that people were in, and you couldn't get kids out of them, and so those things were $37,000 a pop. I bought 2 more of those. Bought 2 more Mission Impossible games, and a bunch of big games. Anyways, we're bringing a lot more big games in. No Zach De Silva, no headliner hints. I've already said what I'm going to say. You weren't listening.
Rewind the stream afterwards, and you'll hear the hints.
Yes, absolutely. David, you haven't said a thing.
Just going through the whole Rolodex of people that I'm thinking about. I mentioned Victor. I really want to meet him finally. I was going to mention Ted. We went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2024, and we got to be in Hall H. And I was in the press pit, and when Robert Downey Jr. shockingly showed up as Victor Von Doom, one of the first persons he high-fived was me. I was in the press pit, and I've actually high-fived Robert Downey Jr.
Is it
Never
true?
washed the hand.
Is it true? You've never washed your hand, right?
I've never watched it since. Yeah.
He had a very soft hand. I'll report that. Very soft.
Maybe you guys have all filtered and figured this out, but they say he's playing 3 different characters in the movie.
Possibly.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Would not
Very
doubt
talented actor.
Yeah, but I mean, your Dr. Doom, what other people are you playing?
He could also be playing Tony Stark from like
Tony Stark,
maybe a flashback or something of that nature. And maybe like a variant of him, of Tony Stark or Von Doom.
A computer simulation of him.
Hey,
Possibly.
very possible.
There's so many.
Jarvis. He could have a Jarvis version of him.
Why wouldn't that be a thing? That's a great idea.
I'd love to meet Chris Evans. He's probably my favorite actor of the Avengers movies. I know he was a possibility on your list.
I have $1 million offer out for him.
Well, if he wants to meet me, he better sign that.
I think there's something to do with the baby that he had.
That's right. He is
He's
new
taking
father.
some time off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family.
And I know for a fact he's a massive Star Wars fan. I think he wants to actually be in something in the future for Star Wars.
More than being inside a stormtrooper outfit.
I think he might be like Daniel Craig. Like he build his role up on stage in a stormtrooper outfit and be good with it and be able to say I was in Star Wars. But I mean, he's already in the Disney
Star
family.
Wars if you're not listed in the credits.
What's
Bob,
that?
Are you really in a Star Wars movie if they don't list you in the credits?
Good question.
If you get to go to a convention and sign for it, yes. Like Greedo or Forlom or Zuckus or whatever. Bob, I'm curious, what do you think about Kathleen Kennedy stepping down and Dave Filoni taking over at Lucasfilm? Any
Well,
thoughts?
Dave's done great stuff. So, she's been a legend. There's obviously some, if you really look at since Avengers Endgame, most of the Marvel shows have all been, they didn't make money, or they didn't do well. There's an old rule in all types of businesses, never follow a legend. When you look at guys that have replaced who used to be the coach at Alabama before Nick Saban?
Bear Bryant.
Huh? Before
Bear
that,
Bryant.
they didn't do well, and then there's a lot of people at different places, and they just don't do as well. Look at how it's a shame because he's a wonderful man. Sam Mackey has not been accepted as Captain America, and now last week they announced that those Captain Americas that is going away. You're not going to see him as a Captain America.
Did they say that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there was Screen Rant or somebody that said that.
Anthony Mackie?
Screen Rant, Anthony Mackie story.
Yeah, I know the film did do so well. Brave New World with Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, even.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I like Anthony Mackie. It's just like I don't want another character playing Captain America any more than I want another character playing Darth Vader or another actor playing Darth Vader. Darth Vader is, or Anakin Skywalker is Hayden Christensen, and I don't want somebody else playing that character, so it's weird for me. But I loved him as Falcon.
Yeah, he was great as Falcon. Should have stayed as Falcon. But nobody's going to replace Chris Evans. America's ass, as he says.
But it would be cool to have Anthony Mackie and Chris Evans, a photo op with them, one of these days. That'd be pretty cool.
But is Anthony Mackie? Is he Falcon or is he Captain America?
We'll see what Doomsday does, I guess. See how they.
Well, he is going to be Captain America in there.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Should be, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd, that's a good one. I've never seen
Paul
him
Rudd.
at a convention. Has he ever done one?
He did Chicago a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been hard to get because his Hollywood career took off. Everybody wants him in a movie.
He's so likable.
Yeah. Other than putting out fires, what's my favorite part of the entire event?
The free pizza.
Well, that hasn't happened yet. To answer your question, ma'am, is, we start loading, so the show is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We start loading in the previous Friday. And then the vendors start showing up Tuesday night and Wednesday. And it's just interesting to see. You almost wish you could have a time camera that just films it and you see it all coming together. It's just amazing how the show develops, right down to some vendors that come trying to stroll in, 1 hour before the show and trying to set up a booth, and they say, "Hey, do you have a forklift?" There ain't no forklift going out on that floor, folks.
Wow.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. But there'll be more surprises and things that'll come along. But nonetheless, what else we got? Zach, you haven't really said anything.
Just thinking, just like what David was saying, tons of possibilities to think about, and you've been very generous with us tonight, Bob, on all the guests you've announced. We're definitely very thankful for that, and lots to think about with that too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a tough spot because we know you're in a tough spot. You want to give us info, but at the same time, you don't want to tell something that might not happen and get people disappointed. So we love the transparency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just, and I tell everybody, you have to. My social media of choice is Facebook, and then I've got team members that handle the other social medias, the Instagrams and so. And so that's where you'll see me answer. And then we did put out the this year, last fall we launched the SPACECON fan page, where the difference between SPACECON's Facebook page and then the fan page. The fan page, you get to yell and scream at each other, say whatever you want. But I say, don't be an asswipe on our primary page, because it's not a fan forum. It's a fan information page. And I know damn well, and this is not me being on an ego trip, I communicate with fans more than any show in America.
Ever.
Hands down.
Yeah.
You get zero answers out of Fan Expo or Comic Palooza or anything. I go in there and I try to answer as many questions as I can. There's some that they're asking me something. No, I'm not going to tell you that. That's just not going to happen. But
Sure.
I try to answer as many questions as I can and be as helpful as I can. Sometimes I like to throw dirty hints out there to people about things when they're asking something. And sometimes I'm being fun and having misdirection. I'm not torturing anybody, but I just do like to stay in touch with everybody. And it's really kind of funny, because back when I got in the business in 2018, when I would start answering on Facebook, the Hollywood agent said, "Cut that shit out. You don't talk to people." And because at times you'd get attacked for saying something. And I remember in 2019, our second show in 2019, we had Chick-fil-A come in, and we announced them that they were coming into our food court. Because we own all the food concessions, we do everything ourselves. That was my career. I was in the food service business before I got in the ad business years ago. That's got my degree in hotel and restaurant management. And all these people attacking us because we were bringing Chick-fil-A and how they were bad for women, and the agents say, "Just get off there." And I said, "Fuck no." Pardon my French, everybody. And I just started telling these rat bastards, I said, I see a guy, he says, and there's people that troll for anything Chick-fil-A, and they would see something. And remember, this guy was in San Francisco, and these guys are idiots. They say, "I was coming to the show, but I'm selling my tickets. I'm not coming." I just go in and I look in the ticket system. They didn't own a ticket. And I just start banning these people. Michael Dixon, but I have thought about running for mayor of San Antonio.
Ooh.
I love it. That's fantastic.
But,
Comic-Con every month in San Antonio if Bob is mayor.
You got my vote.
Wild Bills is coming back For those of you who want to
Nice.
know, they're coming back.
They're great.
We have a good relationship with them. And then we will have JSA and CDC and all the folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
mean, I've been going to conventions for so many years, and I've never seen anything like this where the owner is interacting and giving people hints or, getting people excited. It just doesn't happen, or even going on podcasts. So I think what you're doing is awesome.
Well, thanks. I risk, of course, my financial advisor says, Bob, you're 70s and you shouldn't be risking capital because you're close to retirement. And, and we had 8 big headliners at last October show. And,
Mhm.
and we made more money than we ever did at any show. Now, if I go all the way back to 2018, if I'd never gotten this business, I'd have more money in my pocket. But SpaceCon has given me great hope, because what's different about SpaceCon for the most part is thematically everybody falls in a bucket. It's kind of like you have some horror cons. They're all horror related. But
Yeah.
most Comic Cons, I mean, and I'm not knocking Fan Expo, but you can see Henry Winkler, you can see Hobbit, you can see Back to the Future. There's no
Theme.
cohesive identity as to what the con is all about. And while I do bring crazy people in, like the Soup Nazi, some of it is for entertainment value, and you want to mix it up a little bit. But we're very happy with SpaceCon, and that's going to be my direction going forward.
I'm
Bob,
psyched.
I got a question for you, Bob, because
Hold on, Nick. I am undecided on superhero if it's gone for good, but I took a beating on the last one. Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a rich SOB, him and his sister. They inherited like 200, their parents, they got like $200 million a piece. Why they're even like actors, but they didn't need to. And I said, and he just decided he didn't want to do the show. You in the contract, it says, if you got a death in the family, you're deathly sick, or your child's sick and you've got to stay home. He just decided he didn't want to do it. And it's either you sue them and you get drawn out 5 years in court, or you just say F it. And so it really was sad, that because we were going to be cash positive on him, and
Sure.
you get a lot of people that were coming in. You get people that it's really sad. You got people that'll fly from London or Australia or Japan, and they bought plane tickets. They can't get their money back, and these people they just have no heart to do that to the fans, because and I will tell you, Comic-Cons, and where was it? There was just a Comic-Con that made an announcement last week that they canceled their show. Did you see that? There was a
I did not.
yes.
I think I heard that a show was canceled out of nowhere.
What Comic-Con just canceled? Well, Atlanta Comic Convention announced they're not in there, but there's one coming up real soon that has canceled. It looks like there says no. That's something else. I asked for a Comic-Con and canceled. Guess what comes up? Jake Gyllenhaal cancels Comic-Con appearances. God damn you, Google.
Someone in the comments said Dallas. Was there a Dallas event that canceled?
Yes, there's something in Dallas canceled.
Mm.
Atlanta but I think you're going to see more and more shows. We're getting to a tipping point, or we're past it, of how much good celebrities. There's quite honestly, there's too many Comic-Cons, and anybody can try the business, but when I've had I had a guy in Mexico ask me he wanted to try it, and I know they had stupid money, could have even been drug money. I don't know. He said, I said to him, "Do you know how to make a small fortune in the Comic-Con business?" He says, "No, tell me." "Start with a large fortune." It's like the restaurant business. People see restaurants open, they're crowded, and they forget how many restaurants close down every year. It's kind of like the Pearl. There's what's that big barbecue place there? Was it been there for I don't know about 5-7 years? Cured, what is it?
Cured, you're right.
Yeah, they just announced they're closing down. More restaurants have closed there than you can imagine since that place opened. Everybody talks it. The only thing that does well there is the hotel.
Yeah.
Everything else is a boom then bust. And boom and bust is not a good business to be in.
Yep.
I think SpaceCon is going to keep blowing up because what you're doing is fantastic. Your attitude is amazing. Your transparency with the fans it's just not seen. And that makes a big difference. That gets people excited and makes them want to travel for something like that.
Yeah. We're going to see, we are, and I think as shows are going to struggle this year is because you do have economically, there are some things that are, there's a lot of things that are more expensive and it's not as easy to travel cost wise. I went to, took my wife to Hawaii. We left on the 20th of December, and I said, "It's the last time I'm ever traveling during the holidays. You will not get me." It took us 27 hours to get to Maui.
Brutal.
I'll tell you why. It took us 26 hours to get back, and when I got there, I caught the flu.
Oh,
I was in
no.
bed for days. But anyways, I'm going to use your little platform to talk about American Airlines. I hate them. We get to the airport. Our flight is leaving at 6:44 a.m. We get there. We're in the line. There's 3 people in front of us. We're not buying tickets. We're just checking our bags.
Yeah.
The person up at the front had a real problem. And they were, they got through them. And then when we got up there with our 3 bags to check them, the agent says, "I'm sorry, I can't, you're 1 minute late. I can't check you." I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "We're first class." She says, "No, you're late." I said, "I've been standing in this line for 15 minutes while you've had a problem with that gentleman that you were up there." And she said, "Well, our policy is you have to be here 2 hours early." And she was a biatch. I have pictures of her and my voodoo doll that I stuck with pins and and I told my wife, "Don't ever think I'm never going to grace American Airlines," because I hadn't used them in like 15 years, and I was going to a convention up in St. Louis with a client, and his daughter had a 1-year-old baby, and when they called for pre-boarding, she goes up there and she wouldn't pre-board, and I'd never seen anybody not take little tiny children pre-boarding. And so I wrote a letter to American Airlines and I said, "How is this?" I said, "Every other city I've ever been in, you've taken pre-board." She says, "Well, it's not our policy on pre-boards. It's up to the individual gate agent." And I can't imagine a company that big that would let the potential, if 3% of your workforce are idiots, how they could ruin customer relations. And sure enough, they defended her. And I'd never been on American Airlines until this past time, and I ain't never going back. Never going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Bob.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yes. Hawaii was nice. It was 78 degrees every day.
That's like my top destination after SpaceCon, of course.
And I will tell you, this is a funny thing. On the rooftop of the Hyatt Regency in Kaanapali, they have telescopes. and they have this thing about looking at the stars and that you're going to go in there. And we go up there, and the telescope, it's not like one of those big giant ones, but it's not like the ones you'd have at home on a little tripod, but it was about this far around and about 8 feet long. And there's about 30 of us in the group that paid this outrageous $79 to go up there on the roof to, they're going to show you different things, and, they're going to show you Jupiter, and they're going to show you different stars. And so and we're on the rooftop of the hotel, and he's got a laser, real powerful laser. And, it's a clear night, and he points to the star we're going to see with his laser. And then I go and, so you're looking at the sky, you're seeing this little tiny white light. They're all the same shape. They're all round. And I get in there at the end of the line because I'm not thrilled to be there, And then I look in the telescope, and I'm looking. It's this big too. I mean, it's 600. What do they say? 600 million miles away or something. And I'm sorry, it just isn't going to be that big. We're not talking about a super telescope, but anyways, yes, there will be hotel deals coming to SPACECON. My wife is getting that posted. I keep ragging on her to get that done, and they're almost done. They're almost done.
Do you have any tips for first timers, Bob?
Well, that's a lot of variations. I think that you do want to go to the big panels with the big stars. You do want to, walk the floor and see the vendors, and there's all those unique things, and it's always good to support artists and people like that are doing that. If you're into comic books, there's some good comic book vendors that we have at the show. But then, meeting a celebrity, and the thing I have to tell people is an autograph is not a meet and greet. It's an autograph.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll be able to say hi, hello, how are you? Photo ops, it's an 8 to 10 second experience. Wear comfy shoes. You're right, Carlos. There's a lot of walking and standing, but I don't care if you go to a Taco Bell convention, you can do a lot of walking and standing. For years I did those and went to saw all these, furniture builders and contractors and food suppliers, and you see all these people, and they all have interesting things to tell you, but you are on your feet. You are on your feet. That's why it's good to get a star VIP so you can go over and sit in the lounge and have a place to sit and get some quiet. And the lounge, we are going to have a family section of that. So, there was some, the kids won't be running around in there. There's going to be some separate seating, keep them on the side. But
awesome.
We did. I guess I should have remembered to bring it. We got this beautiful new collector's popcorn bucket with all our characters that we're going to have there.
Wow.
We got some new pins. We got a great new. Did you guys see the fan bags last year?
I actually missed out on it, but I saw pictures online, and I was telling Ted, I was like, man, we were on the opposite side where our booth was. But yeah, I really wanted I'm a big pin collector, and I really want pins.
We get multiple collector pins. What else?
Oh, nice.
This year. Yeah. So yeah, there's some really good tchotchkes going in there. And then we're doing a SPACECON hat, ball cap. People say, why don't you do T-shirts? Jesus, how do you? What are we going to ask everybody what size shirt you are?
Yeah.
So when Jumbo Jimmy shows up and you've got Skinny Sally shirt in his bag, it's not going to work. And I'm a bulky guy, I know.
I got a question for you, Bob. I think you had said the VIP passes were what % sold out? Was it 60%?
It's in the 60s.
Okay.
Maybe you could tell people a little bit about the advantage of that.
Well, so Jamie here is smart. He's got 4 VIP. So a star VIP obviously gets you into the show 30 minutes before the show starts to open to the public. Then we have the VIP lounge where you can go in. You get to eat for free in there. eat and
That's
drink,
awesome.
snacks there.
That's $30 right there. $30 a day right there.
Then you get your all your tchotchkes. You know, you get your bag and your pins and those things. You get all those. They're given in there. Then at every autograph and photo line, we have VIPs and ADA all get in the same line. So you get to, if you're getting a lot of autographs, like Jamie Alviar, the guy gets 25 different products. It's good that you're a VIP, right, Jamie? Come on, Jamie. Let me see it pop up on the screen, Jamie. He's got 4 of them. Yeah.
The VIP makes a huge difference when getting the autographs, especially like when it comes to like Hayden. Like Hayden at MegaCon, if you don't have VIP, it's like 6 hours. And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, but at MegaCon, it's also down one end of that massive building are the lesser guests, and then they had Hayden, Ewan, and Tom Hiddleston. I mean, it's like a half a mile away walking down from one end of that building to the otother.
It sure is.
It's crazy.
And that's recent that they put him like that by himself. But I think it was 2 years ago when Hayden was there. He was upstairs in this little room, and the line was back.
You're talking about that was in Dallas, I believe.
Yeah, Fan Expo Dallas had Hayden in his own separate building,
and there was massive complaints about that.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him in Orlando because I live in Orlando, so it was like that in MegaCon one year too. That was just back forth, up. It was just horrible, and I had the VIP, and it was still horrible.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I also have VIP for SPACECon.
See, there it is, Fan Expo in 20. It was miserable. Yeah, that's what we had. That, and I knew that was bad because I talked to Hayden. He told me about that himself. He said it was not a good setup. Listen, I'll tell all fans. I believe that every showrunner is trying to do the best they can, and there's just some things you can't calculate that you think, well, that's simple. You should have known that. Well, not exactly. There's things that celebrities and their agents and they demand that we do. I mean, I remember in my very first show. No, sir, we cannot, for insurance reasons, donate product. When we had Ben Affleck, when we had our very first show at the JW Marriott, and we had his booth set up just like everybody else, and his security team that came in from Hollywood that we paid like $8,000 to be with him, and they said, "Oh, you got to tear this down, you got to do this." Jesus Christ, they just like the person came on the left side, now they came on the right side, and you just put up one more drape. It wasn't. They just get a little crazy, but some people are happy to see that. 4 hours to meet Hayden, as Jamie said. Yeah, that's tough. And I'll tell you something. And I don't know how many of you all were stars, but when you look at all the stars that we had this year, the big 8 headliners, everybody was in and out as fast as they could. We did not have any complaints about that. There's sometimes some things you can't prevent, but for the most part, our throughput, we get very big, very much practice and try to train and talk about what things are going to work. And I mean, I know I ended up over in the Paul, help me out there, steady, Paul, Vision.
Oh, Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. His line, the volunteers, the people we had over there, they were problematic. And I mean, I went over there, spent an hour and a half there, and we got things straightened out. And because sometimes, in this business, you deal with, I mean, we end up having 400 volunteers at every show.
Wow.
But, one of the advantages of going back to the summer is versus being in the college football season is we'll have 120 volunteers. They'll be there multiple days from the UTSA football team.
Yeah.
I can't. I have to tell you about sometimes these shows like Star Wars Celebration in Chicago for autographs was a disaster. They had nobody trained. Nobody knew where anything was. Lines were all intermingled. It was a nightmare. So having people that are trained, it's such a big difference.
Right. Well, do you know what the training is for most Comic Cons?
Probably.
Their names on a list. They show up. They give them a T-shirt, and they tell them what to do. Their training is about 60 seconds long.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. It just can't happen. Good job, Shelley.
Yeah. Bob, that's the one thing I tell everybody who's never been to a con. I say you go to SpaceCon for your very first one because it's well organized. Everybody's so knowledgeable and what they're supposed to be doing and to give you people information where to go. You have so many variety of food options, more than anyone else I've ever been to. Everything else is just top notch. You consider the experience more than anyone else. And I've seen the evolution because I've been there since the very beginning. And so I also want to know, Bob, from your personal point of view, what do you consider your greatest accomplishment so far? Out of all the
Aside
names,
being on this podcast.
out of all the guests from around the
Well,
world,
everything
you've
else
brought
is
in,
just a second, Craig.
you've had Dan Aykroyd perform on a stage for fans. Like, what is your greatest accomplishment that you've considered?
Geez, that's a tough question. I say that the only thing I just want the fans to have a good experience. That's the best accomplishment. You want them to have a good experience, and I don't have a problem. I don't want to do these to break even. Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 260 days to put on a show.
Wow.
Minimum 260 days with all the things that you've got to be doing. And the thing that just drives you crazy is, there's a nick amongst showrunners and Hollywood agents. They call this the heart attack business because you look at your sales, 6 months out, you know what your expense is, but you look at your sales, you look at it 5 months out, 4 months out. All the money, for the most part, for most cons, doesn't come in until 4 weeks and 3 weeks out before the show.
Wow.
So you gotta have a deep pocket to cover all the expenses. There was a show on the East Coast that the day before the show, there were 3 major headliners that weren't going to go because they hadn't been paid. And they ended up going, not to get a bad name, but they're still owed 50% of their money. That's basically what happened to Alamo City Comic Con. Why that's gone. I mean, the money that they promised to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Keaton, and you had the guy in all the Jurassic Park movies and Independence Day.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
yes, yeah, Jeff, and then the geeky guy,
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, and they were owed a lot of money in the city of San Antonio. Their last show was in the Alamo Dome, and I understand it was like $300,000 or $500,000. They never got their money, but people, they can't ever. Nobody's ever going to let them back into a major venue unless they pay those bills.
Wow.
Tough. It can get tough, but that there's sometimes you make mistakes. I mean, do you remember what it was to buy the Schwarzenegger package for that show? To get an autograph, a photograph?
it was crazy.
$1,300.
I was going to say it had to be over 1,000.
And then the day on Friday, the day the show opened, they dropped the price to $300, and people were pissed.
Wild.
Thank you, Loopy.
That is wild.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So there's you
It-
you
you-
almost think that somebody ought to put on a seminar and like a 3-day training school about how to run a good Comic Con.
What not to do.
Oh, I got a question for you guys. Scott, I'll sell it to somebody. You want to buy it? Call me. What do you think about if on Friday night, probably after the panel, we had in the Freeman Coliseum, we had a comedy show. I've been watching his videos.
Comedy show.
A comedy, Comic Con. But
Oh,
I've been watching lately in my Facebook feed is Rob Schneider. He's doing that tour around America. He's driving it. It's just, I think it's great. It's funny. He's funny as hell. He's funny as hell. I'd have to say you got to be 18 or over. No little kids in there because there's some language that I don't want to put out there. But I'm not the word police.
There's a lot of great comics in Austin. Like
What's his name's Comic Club.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's Comedy Mothership.
Mothership. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best, if you're ever in Vegas, the best comedy club is Brad, the guy from with Tim Allen from Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett.
Garrett.
If you're in Vegas, it's over at the MGM. Best comedy club in America, and I've been to hundreds of them, and I love it. My wife and I've been there at least 20 times.
I've done stand up for over 20 years, so I don't really do it professionally much like I used to, but I used to do it a lot. And so I had Rob.
So you were saying you were poor.
Exactly. Unfortunately, with comedy, yes, comedy doesn't make you much.
No.
But I know a lot of comics that moved from Orlando to Austin because it's just booming over there.
Yeah.
And with all the big clubs in that area, I'm sure you could get some great comics.
Yeah. Well, I want somebody that's just kind of popular. There's a limit to what you can do, but can you get him?
I could probably get you access or a phone number for Joe from Impractical Jokers.
Hey,
one of my best friends.
How many,
with him.
You have, it's all about word recognition and name recognition. That you have to look beyond. Well, how well do I know that person, and how much does the general public know that person? Because I don't want to put on a comedy show if I'm going to give them a free comedy show. I want to make sure there's 5, 6, 7,000 people in there. An average comedy club is about 400 people.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I want to have something really good. Tim Allen, that'd be wonderful.
Gabriel Iglesias, very funny.
He's at shows here all the time. He's doing 2 here a year. It's got to be something unique.
Sure.
How about this guy?
Somebody unique. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's a lot of good comedians out there. Oh, yeah, and what's her name? And I know she's doing a show here this fall. She was just the host of the
Nikki
Nikki
Glaser.
Glaser.
I love Nikki Glaser. She is.
She's the best.
She's the best. She is the best.
Yeah, she's funny. She's very sharp.
Yes.
I did a show with her many years ago too.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I've met a lot of great comics, done a lot of shows with a lot of great comics. So yeah, I think a comedy show. In fact, MegaCon does a comedy show too.
Do they?
Yeah, they have a bunch of Orlando comics come through every year.
Mm.
But nothing big like you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, that's a character flaw. I like to do things big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say put a call out to the Kill Tony crew. There's a bunch of them. They got a band, and they could set up in the Freeman, I think.
Yeah.
Only 80 miles away from us.
All that stage equipment and all these big screen TVs. I have another company called CSAV, Convention Services Audio Video. So we do it all ourselves. So
Oh, okay.
I own all the games in the arcade. That's going to be for my new business. But there you go, Stacey Hopkins.
I'm
Yeah.
not surprised, but I should have known that was all your stuff already at every event,
Go figure.
right? The only thing Bob doesn't own is the building that we're in, but everything else is pretty much his.
Yeah.
I think a comedy show would be a good idea.
Are you able to play a video?
Yeah, we can play videos in MP4 format, I believe.
So let me see. I'm going to. Okay, now listen here, David. I'm going to send this to you, but you cannot share this with anybody else.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you which one of these to play.
Uh-oh.
These are the commercials that we just did with
Giancarlo?
Giancarlo.
Oh, awesome.
And Dave Lozano 1981 at Gmail, is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Deal.
Let me write that
About
down.
to get a bunch of emails
Now,
tonight.
everybody has me.
Everybody just heard that right now.
David, we're gonna have to relocate you again.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, David, open up that link
Okay.
and you'll see a whole palette of different commercials there. See the third one on the right?
Okay.
Don't play it yet. Don't play it yet. You see it?
Let me go to my actual laptop here to bring it up.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, for everybody on here, let me tell you something. So I have a nonprofit called the Puppy Food Bank. We take care of close to 36 pet rescues all around the country. And
Can you adopt David?
I'm sorry?
Can you take on David? Adopt him?
Yeah. So anyways, I love dogs. I've got 5 dogs, and they're part of my life. They come to work with me every day. So anyways, we were in the green room, and I was talking with Giancarlo, and I was telling about, and I'd taken a call about the Puppy Food Bank. They had a question, and I told them that we had this charity, and the Puppy Food Bank, and he tells me the story about when he was a kid. And you know what those pillow lights are that has a clip? So if you're doing homework and you're reading in bed, you can clip the light to your pillow. Anyways, he fell asleep. It short-circuited. His house half burned down.
Oh my God.
His dog, Mr. Puppy, rescued him and got him out of the house, or he'd have been dead.
Wow.
He was saved by a dog. And so in this commercial did you find the spot? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'll just play it and just share the
The one that
screen.
says SEC V2 MP4.
Yes.
Okay.
There's actually a couple of them. There's a 2 TV, a 5
It's the
TV.
one that in the you see Giancarlo in his blue suit there.
Yes, there's 2 of them.
Well, it's the first. It's on the right. I don't know how you're seeing it. It should be
2 TV, 30 sec V2.
yeah MP4.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So everybody. So this is Giancarlo telling the story, and so go ahead and play. And so, folks, you're seeing a world premiere TV spot with Giancarlo that's going to come out in February.
Giancarlo Esposito here with an important message. We all have heroes in our lives. One of mine was my childhood dog. One night when I was asleep, our house caught on fire, and our dog, Mr. Puppy, woke me up to get me out of danger. He truly saved my life. So when I was asked to join the Puppy Food Bank to help save pet lives, I enthusiastically said yes. Please make a $15 a month donation at puppyfoodbank.org, and you will help save a pet's life, like Obi here.
That was really sweet.
Yeah, there's ones with other dogs, and they're licking him the whole time. I don't know what he's got. He's got crack cocaine on his face, or Purina puppy chow on there. But they loved him to death. Go ahead, David. Play the first spot there, if you can.
Let me get to it here. Load it up. It's
I
the
think
4TV 30 sec, right?
Yes.
All right. Let me share my screen.
Every day in America, thousands of dogs are euthanized for one simple reason: money. Pet shelters sadly don't have the money to feed them. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. They provide shelters all across Texas with free pet food delivered right to their door. To do that, they need caring people like yourself to help. Please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a loving donation of just $15 a month. Your donation will allow Puppy Food Bank to send them free pet food to help save pet lives.
That's not the spot I thought it was. We got a lot of spots, but there's one in there. There's two of them in there. The dogs just keep licking the crap out of his face, and he's trying to keep a straight face and do his lines. But anyways, so you all have seen. So Giancarlo Esposito, famous actor, and now he's a Puppy Food Bank ambassador.
Very nice.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Now, are we going to see you
Thank
and
you,
your
Cynthia.
5 dogs walking around SpaceCon?
No. My insurance company said no. It'll cost you another $100,000 for bite insurance.
That's terrific, Bob. I love the fact you're bringing back Giancarlo and he's doing these spots for puppies. I have actually 4 dogs myself. My wife actually made me into a dog lover. My parents never let me own dogs when I was a kid, so I kind of missed out on that in my childhood. But now we have 4 dogs, and my kids constantly are asking to get more. But I think the city limit is 4 in where I live. So yeah, we're maxed out. But yeah, I'm all for that. That's a great cause.
Saddest day of my life was December 24th, previous year in 24. Bailey, the first dog I had when I got back to having dogs again, which I bought for my wife as a gift, and he had to put him down the day before Christmas. And I mean, for 2 days I cried because he was like family.
Yeah, they certainly are.
The saddest thing, if you've ever had to be there when you have to put down a dog, the saddest thing is they give him 2 shots. And the first shot just gets him to relax, and the second shot is what puts them out. But I'm holding his hand and I'm looking at him saying, Bailey, come on. He had passed away, but his eyes never closed. And the vet says that's because they're looking at you and they always want you to remember them. Their eyes don't close. Anyways, getting back to SpaceCon, get off the sadness, but yeah, we provide a lot of free pet food around the country, and there's thousands of dogs that are euthanized every day because they don't have the money to feed them. And I think we're better than that as a society. Absolutely. And so anybody on this podcast, if you love dogs and want to help save their lives, 100% of the money that we raise for Puppy Food Bank all goes into buying food.
It's beautiful.
We buy an enormous amount of food, and I tell people we're a virtual food bank. There is no big warehouse loaded with food. We get the order of what they need at the rescue, and we have Chewy deliver it straight to their doorstep, and so it comes right from the manufacturer right into there. So. That's a big bill to feed, isn't it, Jamie?
Over 100 pounds. My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I have a golden retriever, and she's like 65 pounds or something like that. I thought that was big. Right.
Well, my leopard Catahoula, he's 110 pounds, and he eats like a horse. He will, if you have food, he'll eat it. It doesn't matter how much he's eating. He just loves to eat. Like me.
I think we could all relate.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, you guys have been pretty gracious. It's been an hour and 42 minutes.
We love having you on. We really appreciate your transparency and your connection to the show. You're welcome to come on anytime you want and hang out, talk Star Wars, or announce anything you'd like, we're happy to have you on.
I'll tell you this, that if I get the person, if he calls me and tells me he'll do it, then I will reveal him on your show.
Nice.
Thanks, Bob.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
we know it's not Daisy Ridley, or it's not what's her name,
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Yes. Yes.
Everybody keeps dreaming. Everybody keeps dreaming. You can't blame us.
Yeah. Michael Trogue. I like Seinfeld. I'm not crazy about it, but I've seen the episodes with the Soup Nazi. What did I just watch the other day? George Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander plays George. I just saw him in a movie.
Yeah. What was that?
What the heck was this? What the heck was that movie? Anyways, he does not look he's like aging very well. Either that or it was how they cast him. Anyways, thank you, Shelley. It's been great fun. Let you all go. Jamie, thank you to all the fans of SpaceCon. We appreciate you. We are 11. Yeah, we're about 140, 150 days out. So before you know it, it'll be here, and we'll put the band back together. See everybody.
Can't wait.
Yep,
Very
for sure.
exciting.
Excited.
All right,
Everyone on
guys.
screen here will be there.
We will
David,
be
James,
there.
Zach,
I guess,
Ted,
I
of course.
guess you kind of will.
And a big shout out to Mary, who's been running our comments for the podcast. She's out there.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
she will travel from LA to San Antonio for SpaceCon as well.
Well, they're very good, Mary.
Yeah.
All right, Mary. We'll make sure you get some free pizza.
Awesome.
All right.
She's raising the roof off
Yeah,
screen.
she's dancing over there. Yeah.
All right, guys.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming on,
I
Bob. We
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it. You're
Yeah,
great.
thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you to everyone that joined us live. And may the force be with you.
Always.